stripped it down a little bit because it's really important that everyone knows everything that's going on in the county and how we're responding to growth. Growth is consistent with the county. That's our growth rate over the last 15 years. And I know, there's this kind of belief that we've kind of spiked up in the last few years, but we've actually stayed steady, about a little less than 3% a year, every year for the last, at least the last 15 years. This is just, that white line is our growth. The orange line is our revenue, our property tax revenues. And so what we've been able to do is get through that rather kind of dark period post Great Recession, where we had over a decade of revenue declines that we had to deal with. And now we're starting to grow. A lot of it has to do with the fact that we've been able to diversify our digest with our friends at the IDH Assistance, by bringing more industry and commercial into the region. And then the other important thing is additional revenue sources which aren't accounted here, like T-Sports, T-Sloss, which I know the Chamber and its membership did a great job in helping us get renewed last November. And just so you all know that we are good stewards with your funds. What you're looking at here, this is for the county government. This is not the total tax bill. This is just the part that the Board of Commissioners controls. These are the millage that you see on your tax bill every year for the county. It shows up as M&O millage. For all of the counties in the region, Effingham is the lowest at the far left-hand side, slightly less than 6 mils, and it goes up to almost 18 mils for Liberty County. And so we're very proud of that, and the board wants to make sure we keep that position moving forward. And on the topic of growth, so there have been a lot of new developments that have been approved, and the county's been working hard to kind of upgrade our development standards, our development code, our development services. Our NRC has played a significant role in that. But the key factor here is I want to point out that of all those developments that are approved, they total up to about 3,000 units. That may seem like a lot, but in comparison to our surrounding counties, that is substantially less. I know that the city of Statesboro has approved that in the city alone, at least that, not including the rest of Bullock. Bryan County and Chatham County each probably have about 4 or 5 times that approved. If you go right across the bridge to Jasper County, they've lost all sense of reality, and they've got 41,000 homes approved, obligated for development. So I think we're kind of keeping at a pretty steady number, so we've got sustainable growth. I know we've got a lot of work to do in infrastructure, which I'm about to get into, but we're getting there. And so how does that translate to our service volume? The 911 call volume just in the last 2 years is up about 65%. Fire calls are up about 20%. EMS only shows a 3% increase, but that's a little bit of a misnomer because 2 years ago we had 2 COVID spikes that we were dealing with, which really put stress on our system. But even though we haven't had that in the last year, we're still up. The board will, in the budget coming up, we'll be presenting obvious increases to staffing to support that growth. And recreation activities, this has really taken off for us. Spring baseball and softball. We've always had a very strong recreation department. We've always had a very strong recreation department. But the numbers have really spiked in the last few years. And so since 2021, spring baseball and softball, I mean, we're up to practically 1,200 participants, and that's an increase of 37%. Newer sports or sports that are really starting to take off are lacrosse and track, which is great for the recreation department because it really feeds into when the kids go to middle school. And spring volleyball is up 207%. That has a lot to do with facilities. We've got a new double gym, obviously, at Clarence Morgan, and so the volleyball and pickleball, which is also played there, is now at 200 participants per week. Moving on to senior center participation, we did include 2021 on this simply because we were basically shut down because of COVID. But since 2022, in 1 year time, we're up 42% in participants. And that's wonderful. It's a great program we have over there, and we're continuing to look at expanding. This number I just put up there because it shocked me that bingo participation has increased by 75% in 2 years. I don't know what the evidence of that is, but it's a big number. So the things that the county is doing to respond to growth, to provide a higher level of service. We're moving a lot of our services online. Our development services and procurement are now online. Development services, everything from permits, business license, plans, code enforcement, all of that is now accessible through a portal. And you can see your progress, so you no longer have to call to find out where everything is. We'll have that available so you can log in. We're doing a full revamp of the county's website within the next year. And similar to what Rincon has offered, we're doing this on a countywide basis for the countywide services and for the unincorporated areas. Is a 311 system. And that's just a system that, yes, you could call the number like 911 for non-emergency quality of life issues, like a pothole, like litter on the side of the road, like an animal running around. You can do that. You can do it on a phone call during business hours. You can do it from a portal on our website. But the real convenient thing is the app that's going to be on your phone, because you're going to always have it with you. If you're going out for a walk and you see someone just through a couch on the side of the road, you simply can click on the app, it'll automatically grab your location and submit the request. So we're in the development stage of that, this is something I want to provide so that you all can share with us. And that is, we constantly hear, why doesn't the industry pay its fair share? And I want to say, they easily pay their fair share, if not more. These are some numbers that I got from the school district that just shows that if the county had to rely on rooftops alone, a true bedroom community, the school district, they've got a total expense of about $156 million. That's about a year old. Of that, about a third of it comes from property taxes. The remainder comes from state feds. We've got 22,000 houses, and they've got 15 mills. They charge 15 mills. In order for them to raise $51 million on 22,000 houses, the average price of the house has to be $380,000. Taxable average price of the house has to be $385,000. Currently, our average taxable value of the house is $213,000. Creates a big gap, right? And how do you make up for that gap? You make up for the gap through commercial and industrial industry coming to the county. If we didn't have that, millage would go up. They would have to charge 12 more mills to provide the same level of service, which is practically double what they're charging now. So they play an important role for us. So much so that if you just take the industrial growth in the last 4 years, That has added, this doesn't include this year, that has added $6.6 million to the school district in revenue every year, an additional $3.5 million for the county. That is the revenue equivalent of 5,100 homes without the services that you have to provide them. In addition to that, because we have to provide some infrastructure upgrades to support some of the industries, we are now charging in 3 separate areas of the county, special industrial service district, where the industries are paying an additional 1.1 mils. So they really help keep the quality of life and the quality of our schools and our tax rates down in the county. And we don't put them everywhere. And so this is the new future land use map that the board had approved recently. And what I want to point out here is the purple areas. They are the targeted areas that we have for industry. We don't scatter shot them all over the county. We put them in really 4 concentrated areas, and the board does not like to deviate from those areas when possible. So, and they're all located in certain areas because of what those areas offer. Some offer close proximity to the interstate. Some offer dual rail access, and some offer proximity to the port. So there's a logic to the process of where industry is located in the county. And this is the fun part we wanted to go over, which is the capital projects we're working on. And there's a lot going on with roads. I'm not going to list all these off, but this is just the roads that are funded with the last T spots. In addition to this, where the county is funding other projects through other revenue sources. And obviously you can't read the yellow ones, but I want to point those out. Those are the ones we're going to tackle in the next year and a half. Those are the simple repavings. So it's a 5-year T spot, but we'll get it done in about a year and a half for most of those roads. The rest are a little more complicated, being intersection improvements like roundabouts. They require design. And then our major county arteries are also a little bit more complicated because not only are we simply repaving them, we're bringing them up to basically the GDOT standards, wider service lanes, wider shoulders, thicker pavements. We're going to have to purchase some more right-of-way so that we can support things like segregated bike trails from the road in the future. So our goal is to get about 100-foot right-of-way for all of our main county roads. And these roads are all on the T-SPOS list, and we're working on them right now. And, you know, when I came here, I think we had 2 roundabouts built about 4 years ago. Since then, we've gotten 2 additional ones done on 30 in Blue Jay and Old Augusta and Fort Howard. And now the county in design, I think we've got 11 or 12 of them coming, and that's just from the county side of it. The first 3 that we hope to get under contract by the end of the year are on Hodgeville, and they are Hodgeville and Polycombe, Hodgeville and Goshen, and Blue Jay and Hodgeville. In addition, as all of you know, we're building Effingham Parkway. The county contributed $20 million towards that, and GDOT contributed twice that. And that will have 3 additional roundabouts on it as well. The idea is to constantly keep the traffic flowing and allow some of these side roads to easily integrate in there and not let the traffic back up. These are the roundabouts that GDOT is working on in the county. One of them is not in the county, but 17 in Morlow, 17 in Jabez Jones, US 80 in Sand Hill, and this last one obviously is in Chatham County, which is SR 30 in Hodgeville, but it's in Chatham County, but it is so critical to the commuter traffic flow for Effingham County, and we're happy that's moving forward. We're very thankful they temporarily put a traffic light in there to keep traffic flowing. just if you look at these dots on here, those are the roundabouts that are either in place or under design for the county. It's a lot of work, and they are complicated, but unfortunately getting more expensive to build. This is an intersection, the most dangerous intersection in the county, which is 21 in McCall, but it also plays in there the way that the courthouse intersects, basically 300 feet or so from 21 and McCall. So we're doing a couple things here under the previous T-Splosh. We're realigning the intersection of Courthouse and McCall to about a quarter of a mile away from 21 and McCall, and having it go into a roundabout so the traffic doesn't back up on Courthouse at night. And then GDOT had informed us recently that they approved the traffic signal for that intersection, and they've asked the county to add left turn lanes to both sides of 21 on McCall, and we've agreed to do that. And so hopefully you'll see some action on that next year, and that will be no longer a problem for the county. Facilities, I'm going to go through really quick. Just know that we're concentrating a lot of our facilities related to public safety, a lot of additional firehouses, a lot of additional EMS stations, a sheriff's training facility, which is under design, and an emergency operations center. And so the first one is the gym. You really can't see, but in the center there, that's where the actual gymnasium is at Clarence Morgan. And so we're adding 2 wings to it because it was designed to do that. The right-hand wing allows us to move our rec offices over to Clarence Morgan and creates 2 separate, or they could be 1 large, multi-purpose room that can be rented out for birthday parties. It overlooks the playground, as well as an outdoor pavilion that overlooks the playground as well. On the left-hand side, something much different. Because the building itself has all some very key functions to it, it's got a commercial kitchen, it has showers, it's a gymnasium that could potentially be used for post-hurricane event sheltering. We did our emergency operations center and our emergency management agency offices there as well, because we had outgrown our existing one. It should start construction within the next 2 or 3 weeks. This is the admin building. As many of you, if you've driven through Springfield, you know that started construction this week. We're doubling the amount of parking, but I think more importantly is we're moving all of our administrative functions in the county so that it's a one-stop shop for everyone to make it easy. So we'll be moving the tax commissioner and tax assessor over here, and adding a drive-through for the tax commissioner, so that it's truly, if you want to get a permit, if you want to get a septic permit, a building permit, a business license, pay your taxes, get your tax, it's one location that we're not spread out through different locations in the county seat. This last one, I'll just start with the orange ones. It's very expensive to build new buildings nowadays, so we started to look very deeply on the infrastructure that the county already owned. At some point, we obtained ownership of the Central Learning Center, the old Central High School, and we had it reviewed, and it's the structure itself is in great shape. So we're going to completely revamp it. And if you've ever done early voting in this county, and early voting is just going to become more and more popular, you know that our current voting location is not ideal for that. It does not have a lot of parking. And when you don't have any parking there, you have to park on 119 or across the street, which gets very dangerous. This will have ample parking, early voting location, and the elections office. And it will be covered from the weather, even though you're standing outside. So it's be a much better experience for the customers. We're also adding central records and storage there, facilities and maintenance is moving their facility there. And where the cafeteria used to be, we want to do an event facility. And so a community center event facility, because there is a commercial kitchen in there, and it is a large open room. And we don't know we're going to have enough money to do it on phase one, but that's a goal as well. And speaking with the alumni, they mentioned a desire also to do something to honor the school for its history. It is the originally segregated African American high school for the county, and it's got a very strong alumni group associated with it, and that lesson is obviously taught, equalization, Brown v. Board, etc. is taught in our schools, and it would be a good location to actually bring people to say this is a piece of history. And it's a beautiful building. You can't see it from the outside, but when it gets renovated and brought back to its kind of original design, you'll see that its unique architecture. And I know I'm rushing through this because we've got a lot of projects, but if you've ever done jury duty, you know there's not a lot of parking at the courthouse. We're expanding parking there. We're fully renovating and expanding our animal shelter. And also on the list is that we are looking for locations to replace the Rincon Library, and also another location for a library in South Effingham. And so we hope to get that designed before SPLOST comes up for renewal in 3 or 4 years. Parks, and this is the fun part, every park is getting some love. If you know Clarence Morgan and the level of quality the county built that park to, the Clarence Morgan Regional Park, that's what we want to meet for all of our existing parks. And so we're going to, we started that with McCall Park when we did the renovation of that, and we're going to be doing it for every park. This is Clio Community Center and Park. It's just everything gets kind of a revamp. Paved parking, new playground, the community center gets a little renovation. Another interesting thing we're doing there is that is a section of the county that does not have wide availability of high-speed broadband, and so the county brought broadband to the community center, and then we're going to create a media room in there, so residents or kids who want to do their homework have access to high-speed internet if they don't have access to it at home. This is Meldrum, again, very similar park that's been in need renovation for a while. And so just kind of a full revamp. This is Pinora, again, full revamp, paved parking, new playground. The walking trails are going to be key for us on this, and we're also doing a disc golf course there. This is Baker Lake. This is probably the one that's farthest along, and it's also from our survey, our second most popular park, and it's also one of our smallest. And it's simply because of the walking trail. So this is going to get all paved parking, new restroom facilities, a dog park, 4 pickleball courts, and a boat launch. And so that, I think, by the end of the year, we should have under contract. This is the park at 119 where the annex is, where the old Effingham Academy. I think the key thing here, obviously full renovation of all the facilities there, but substantial paved parking, so we don't run into it doesn't turn into muck in foul weather. And this is Clarence Morgan. This is the big project. It's under design right now. Most important thing we can do here is get you some multi-purpose fields. That's the biggest thing in demand. We're also going to try and do a shed there and discuss this with the city of Springfield about whether that might be a good location for a farmer's market because of the parking. In addition, we're working on a splash pad as well. And this is Sandhill. This will get done after CEM because we have to close these fields in order to rehabilitate them. But just imagine that it's going to get paved parking and all new facilities. And this is a pocket park, and we're going to try and get more locations for things like this. We learned a lesson from McCall, where it's not a very big park, and the smallest footprint items in that park get the most use. So the basketball court, the dog park, the playground, a couple of pickleball courts, and a walking trail. And this is out in front of new development. It's donated land donated by a developer on Highway 30. And we got two more parks. This is the Troopwood Trail. This is we're trying to work with our friends at Georgia Power to get access to the old Georgia Central rail line. This is the line that ties into the Guyton Trail, and uniquely it goes all the way to 80. And so it passes some really great assets like Pioneer Park, like Sand Hill Park, right by the Honey Ridge equestrian facility owned by the school district. And then it goes all the way to our newest park that's under design, which is the Atlas Community Park. Well, we haven't come up with a name for it, but that's the current name for it, that when we bought it. It's about a 150-acre lake. And so our goal is to get walking trails, make a passive park, a ton of parking, boat launches, in maybe a phase 2, a beach and swimming area. But it's really beautiful, and it's located right on the corner of Sand Hill and 80. And this is kind of a concentrated area, a developable area that we're working on. Also, an amphitheater is something we want to look in doing there as well for community events. But I'll wrap it off with a video of it. That's an overhead. It's only about a minute.
So we'll get time to play. If you click. Yeah.
But the land to the left is the area that we're going to develop. This is really kind of a fishing area. The land, and you'll see in a second, it's got slightly bluer water. It's an impounded area. The water is kind of separated from the other. That's the area that we wanted to do. This area, kind of looking at doing the swimming area and beach. But this will be a tremendous asset for the county, and we're plowing ahead. We're just kind of wrapping up some of the steps we need to take with EPD on this. But we hope to wrap up the plans by the end of the year. That is my presentation. Thank you.